Welcome to that damn fine print is Wapo, and I have with me the Vagabond, the Blueprint champion that's been dominating for months. I'm gonna let him tell you what else they call him besides the Blueprint champion. What's going on, Vagabond?
Now everybody likes to call me like a different breed. A lot of people call me the Baba Yaga. A lot of people call me the Shadow Man, the Master Puppeteer, the Master Manipulator. But you can simply call me Vagabond, and you're gonna say the whole thing like a tribe called Quest.
And you better put a respect on that because I tell you, this man has been on a tear. I mean, hell, he's got body after body after body. Hell, my body's even in there somewhere. I mean, I gotta admit it. But I mean, he has used and had that title on him like it's his own attire. I mean, there's no stopping this man. I mean, this man has been, he's just been everywhere. I mean, he does not have been dominating only in the foundation, but he's also been dominating in BWO as their shooter champion.
I'm gonna make it as good as this one.
I know this Saturday coming up, you go against the Black Plague for the Blueprint Championship, and I know he's somebody that you haven't seen in a very long time. But what do you think you're gonna do? Are you think you're gonna murk him, or what do you think you're gonna do? Is this just a practice round for you?
Mm, I know he's gonna bring something to the table, but there's always a question like, is it too soon for him to come after me for the Blueprint title because this is his first match back? And it's
Mm.
like, why are y'all handing him a title opportunity on his first match back? Don't y'all want him to build up before he faces me? Because he hasn't had a match in the foundation in like 2, maybe 3 years.
So what do you think
That's a
they're
long
feeding him?
time.
Yeah, I think they might just be feeding him to you, man. At that point, that's what it seems like. It seems like it's lunchtime, like they're just padding your stats, huh? I mean, that's what it seems like to me. Because you're right. I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, I don't even know what he did to deserve an opportunity because he hasn't been around. But anyways, talk about rounds. What did you think about this WGP Foundation fiasco we had going on?
I know they were trying to go for like the element of shock and surprise, but it has to make sense. I mean, granted, some of the picks they had were good, but at the same time, there were a lot that there were a lot of picks they had that had a lot of people scratching their heads as to why they picked them. I mean, for one thing, Bucky wasn't even Bucky wasn't even like a day one pick, even though he should have been because he is a former FTW world champion and he has a W over Haywood. That should have meant something.
It's true.
I felt like that got ignored. I don't know. I just felt like that got ignored to the point where it's just like, oh well, he's let's pick him later. Like, don't pick him later and instead of getting these other people that nobody's ever heard of.
That's true, and that makes a lot of sense. But what gets me is, and like I saw, because I thought this was strictly a WGP and Foundation trade. For some reason, no disrespect to AT or Chance Young, but for some reason, I just gotta ask them what questions. What the hell is that? They're not even in WGP or the Foundation, so that kind of like threw everything else as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Also
yeah,
like
yeah,
Trevor
yeah.
Robinson. Trevor Robinson also he was a BW faithful, but but he did compete at starting point, so he kind of did sneak in his foundation. But I kind of was kind of I think the whole thing was just throwing everybody for surprises, and I think it is what it is. Like you said, the foundation had a better pick. The foundation had it seemed like they had better sense, but like for Bucky, I think he got the better end of the deal because even though he did go later in the rounds, um,
Yeah.
if you look at WGP roster versus Foundation roster, the Bucky is more likely to get his pats up, more likely to you know get a couple of titles, and I think it's better for him for what he has to do versus I'm not saying struggling because I'm sure he can be if you be Haywood, I'm sure you can hang. But what I'm saying is he's got a better opportunity to be the face of a place at WGP than the foundation. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, you know,
No, you're right. Cause like Foundation's kind of tough because you got Bones as the world champion, you got Bobby as the prototype champion, you got me as the blueprint champion. It's like we BWO alumni just run shit.
And to be honest with you, not to belittle Raiden or Army of One, but they are the weakest champions, and that's saying something because they're pretty strong. You know what I mean? So that's saying how strong the
Hmm.
foundation is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Ooh,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you.
Yeah, so to me that's tough. But like I said, some people like Bucky Alpha. Alpha. He's a brand new BXT champion. And I think Alpha has a
Yep.
chance to show what he got. You know, um, but like
Oh
I
yeah.
said,
I
I
think
think it's
Alpha
gonna
is
be.
coming into it like well.
Oh, he's gonna come
Mhm.
he's gonna come out and shine, and I hope he does. Because he's one that I've been watching for a while, like when it first started. But now Sam Spade. What do you think about Sam Spade's chances up in the foundation? His brother.
I mean, if he continues to do what he does and like refining what he like his craft, he could be champion one day.
He can be. He can be. So what do you think? Do you think that they're trying to compete, or do you think they're just trying to first gather themselves together, try to get their product out there before going against I mean, you heard of the story David and Goliath. Anything can happen in the world, in the judges world, but chances are very slim. But what I mean, I know you don't know what's going on with what was he thinking, but what would you have done different in this draft? I know you talk about Bucky being a first rounder, but what would you have done different in this draft to make it make sense?
See, first and foremost, I would have done at least some research on some of the people that I'm picking, look at their track record, look at how they've been doing here and everywhere else, and then decide whether they be, you know, good to be on the roster. Instead of like, oh, surprise, I picked this one. Like, are you sure? You gotta look at them objectively. You gotta be like, all right, this is the one we want for our roster because I think they can thrive here.
But
I mean, I'm
why?
glad you got to go. I'm glad you went over because you would make one hell of a Havoc champion.
I
That's one of my
appreciate
favorite titles.
I appreciate that. That's kind of that's like a workhorse championship. It's kind of like the Blueprint Championship, it's a workhorse championship. It's something that
Oh
you
yeah,
gotta. It's always competitive. Now I know. I mean, like I said, you're a hell of a champion. You're dominating by far, one of the best. And this is coming from somebody that you broke his record, and you're one of the best. But how are your chances? Do you think holding that Blueprint Championship now that it's been stacked up at Foundation? Are you? I mean, because I know you're very confident because you got to be for being a
oh yeah.
champion. But what what do you think that your title reign is in danger at one point or another, or you gonna go with the same?
At the moment, no,
That's
but we
awesome
got a
because
stacked roster, so you never know.
yeah, and I was gonna say that because just I guess it's all depends on who's wanting what and what's going to happen. Um, but what are your plans after you? Let's say after you happen to gracefully bow down for being the Blueprint champion. What are your plans? What are you planning to do? Because I know you're going to be. I guess you remain on the foundation part of things, being that you was a foundation champion. You get inherited by them. What are you planning to do? Are you planning to go after titles? Are you planning just to
Yeah.
raise your ranks up?
Honestly, I'm gonna keep reigning with this as long as I can before I drop it.
I know you got no plans of dropping this soon, don't you?
And if
Yeah,
I
man.
drop it, I'm gonna go down swinging.
I tell you, man. I mean, like I said, it's been exciting watching you. I mean, you had some close ones, but you always ended up on top. Right now, you're the BWO Shooters Champion. That's pretty much
Oh,
another.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's another big title. I know they don't have a physical form belt yet, but do you believe that you'll be able to hold on to the title until they actually send you one?
Oh, oh yeah.
I tell you, it's gonna be a tough task because your next opponent is Don Krypton, and Don Krypton is I mean, he's got a lot up his sleeve, but we all know he does like to use a lot of edits and stuff. So I mean, we get to see him in his true form. We also know he's actually a natural poet too. So hey, we don't
Oh,
know. We don't know. He's a man of wordplay.
oh,
Um,
he's a man. He's a man of a lot of words. However, he doesn't have a victory over me.
oh wow, yeah, that does play a factor. That plays a big factor, and
I got victory
and
over him.
so I mean that plays a big factor. Like I said, I mean you're the one that's holding the belt. You're the one that's the man and the man with the plan, and it's been hard to stop you.
Like the way I'm gonna play it is just like I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go for the throat, but I'm just gonna go for the throat.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, I mean it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they're gonna break bread with you, you know, but you got to defend yourself and defend your title. It's your whole reputation on the line as being one of the most dangerous people at BWO.
Yep.
Now, have you ever been the BWO champion?
No, like this. I've only had the tag titles in the BWO, and the pure shooter title is my first singles title. I mean, I've been in matches where I faced people for either the TYS title or the BWO World title.
But you just short. You were just a little bit short, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, you are the most dominant champion right now. By far respected. People respect you of your work ethic. So, like I said, with this draft in hand, does your kind of I'm gonna say your promo life? Do you have to change anything that you were planning to do, or are you planning to go the same? I know you said you're gonna die with that belt, but are you planning to go the same route that you plan to be?
oh,
Your
oh
plans
yeah.
don't change. Your plans don't
Nope,
change. Just different.
not
It's the
even a
same
little bit.
set, different players. I hear you. So it's just basically the same set, different players, right?
Yep.
That's what's up. That's what it needs to be. Um, so who do you figure uh, would be a formidable opponents going down the road against you? Um, I know you said you're gonna beat the Black Plague and you're looking past them, but if that's an automatic W, who else do you have that you are wanting to face or dream opponents down the road?
I mean, I know AT's on the roster now because I basically told him to like come out, step out of the BWO, see the entire promo verse for what it is. Because to me, how can you call yourself one of the best if you're in one spot? Why not be the best in every other spot that you can reach? Good spots.
That's
Don't go to
true.
don't go to no trash.
I mean, that's true. You can be. I mean, you can be the best for so long at the pond, but someday you got to swim to the ocean
Oh yeah.
and figure out what else you got next. Because I mean, at AT, he's got game, and the BW is strong, but there's other people out there that he might need to face differently. Um, and I think he's gonna get a nice dose of competition when it comes to the foundation. Every one of you guys from top to bottom are championship worthy, and when it comes down to it, I mean, I got drafted to WGP, but of course I'm gonna be a little biased because that's my that's where I'm at. But we all know. I mean, as far as ratings go, we all know what's gonna happen. As far as going head to head goes, we all know what's gonna happen. But do you find yourself wanting to ever join WGP just you happy where you at?
I mean that really depends because like I was Havoc champion and I was WGP World champion. The only belt I haven't touched yet was the FTW title. And I'm like, do I want that belt or do I just like leave it?
I mean, FTW title is floats anyway, so it doesn't matter where you're at. Um, you can still get it and take it, whatever. Um, now, with that being said, who's your pick between McFly and Buckshot? Who do you think's gonna go out victory there?
I'm gonna say McFly.
Oh, you think McFly's gonna take it?
I
Think
think
he's got it?
McFly is gonna keep it.
Huh. That's good. That's an interesting choice. That's an interesting choice. I think that McFly needs to come up with just like McFly, Buckshot as well. They're both on quite of a losing streak. I
Yeah,
haven't seen any of them win in the last few months, but so that should be pretty interesting because both are going to be fighting to actually get a W. So
yeah.
that's going to be pretty damn interesting. Now, as far as the Blueprint division, which you hold down, um, who do you see? Who do you want? Who do you see yourself facing? Who do you want to face? Who do you, uh, I want to say, got to prove? You don't got to prove to nobody because you're right. But who do you think that you got to humble? I'm gonna say.
Mm, genuinely, I don't know who I'd have to humble unless somebody decides to like send a stray my way, and then I have to look at them. It could really be anybody. It could be Trevor Robinson. It could be Bobby Miller. It could be AT. It could be anybody that just came in the door, just looking at me like, "Oh, you're the Blueprint champion. I'm gonna take you." Like, hold it, Brody.
You don't think that's a wise choice, right?
Yep.
I mean, do you think that's what the Black Plague's doing, or do you think he's just what is he to use? He just like easy pickings, somebody just
This this is more of a test for him than it is for me because he hasn't been in the foundation for a long time, and
right,
when he was here, he did a little bit like he didn't lose. I know for a fact that he didn't lose often, but he didn't stick around long enough to like make a lasting impression or impact that anybody can like recall like a match or two. Like, oh, what has he done? Does anybody
right,
remember a Black Plague match? No, not really, because he hasn't been here in
right,
ages. I'm gonna say
right.
like 2, maybe 3 years
Wow,
back.
that's a long time. So basically, he's probably the same, and you improve. So, I mean, even if he faced you back then, you're totally different than you was now.
Oh
Totally
yeah,
different. I mean, you're like you're star powered now because I mean, you as a pillar, of course. We helped grow the foundation, and I've tried to forget who else was there that helped us grow the foundation, and it was me, you that they build around, and other people. But um, yeah, he's gonna have a tough. I think, like I said, like you said, he is he is the one that has to be tested, not you. You're the one that is there. But I mean, as far as you go, I know you're not you treat every match like it's a main event, so I'm sure that you're not gonna look past them. I'm sure you're gonna treat them like. but but with that being said, do you have the world championship in your sights? Set in your sights.
I thought about it, and honestly, that's been on my mind for like a while because I never got a chance to compete for the world championship, but I was in a tournament like last year to try and earn an opportunity to go for the world championship. And the person that beat me, Jay Briggy, tried to come after me for this, and we all
I
know the
mean,
result.
yeah, you're still wearing the belt. I mean, you're still wearing the belt, and that's
Yep.
the thing about Jay Briggy too. Jay Briggy, he's a awesome competitor, but
Oh yeah.
as far as your roster goes, a lot of these guys, I mean, they're saying now that they're in for it for the long haul, like they full time people. But do you really think that a lot of you guys are full time? Because a lot of these guys were part timers.
Yeah.
So, do you think that they're in or you think that's the foundation's kind of downfall is picking people that are actually part time? What do you
I
think?
I think they're all going to be in it for the long run because once they see like the quality of shows and the people that come out here, talk they shit, and compete, that's going to give them even more of an incentive to like stay here.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
the foundation is a special place. So is WGP.
yeah. They are special places, and like I said, to be honest with you, I've competed everywhere in the promo sphere or the promo verse or whatever you want to call it, and I've never competed with WGP, and it's not even was my own fault. Every time I try to get in there, something happened, so I couldn't get in. But this is actually my first time competing in WGP, and I'm excited about that because that's a place I haven't touched. You
Oh
know,
yeah, like WGP is like a bit different from the foundation. I
right,
mean, you got Mr. Wallace as the host. The shows are top notch.
right. I
Like
mean,
the
Foundation too. I mean, all the shows, even the BX. Every time BWO. Every time I go to a place, I like. That's what I think that's what attracts people is if you make them look like stars. If you look like how you feel, you're gonna compete.
oh
And
yeah,
these places are top notch. I mean, A list is famous. Your winner, and you had um, you know, I mean, yeah, Wallace is top notch when it comes to being a voice. DB, there's a factor about him. I love doing it. I love being I love being competing and it makes me hype. But I just like I said, I just don't know why WGP was never in my sights, and right now I feel like a rookie again because I've never been there, and that's why it doesn't matter to me. I know some people are pissed off because some people didn't want to go that went to WGP, didn't want to leave Foundation and whatever. But you know what? I mean, it's not like it's gonna be like forever. There's gonna be another draft.
oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. They just
So yeah,
gotta they just gotta make the most of their time in these places. Because if you're not making the most of your time and making like a lasting impression as a competitor or as a character, then what exactly are you doing?
exactly. And I don't understand why people would even go to that fact of, hey, I want to compete here. Is it because, and I know it's not because they're like, oh, the competition sucks. Because when you're competing with somebody and you're in top notch competition, why wouldn't you want to be the top? Why wouldn't you want to, dominate and show everybody what you got? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Oh
I'd be, if I was somebody that was mad, I'd be mad about being in foundation because my spotlight will be a lot thinner. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Than if I would be in WGP. Um, but yeah, that's the gist of it and everything. And I think, like I said, I think this draft was a good idea. Maybe the picks was kind of little here or there, hit or miss. But when it comes down to it, it's going to be showcasing. It's going to be who puts on the best
Yeah.
shows. And even though you got top notch guys, I mean, we got guys here that won't blow each other out either. There's going to be guys that are going to have good matches because, like Quack said, you're going to watch a 6-10 team versus a 6-10 team, and it's going to be a good game regardless. You know what I mean? I mean, he's
Oh
not wrong about that, was he?
yeah.
He's not wrong about that. But so what's on your mind, man? What you got to say? I'm gonna let the champ talk a little bit. What's up? What you got? You got anybody you wanna talk to? You got anything you want to say? Anything that you want to share with how you've been feeling about everything that's been going on?
Like to everybody that's like competing right now, I want y'all to look around you. Look at the state of the promo verse. It is in the best shape it's ever been because you got people showing up, people you wouldn't expect, like stepping out and into places that they wouldn't be, like Bones. For the longest time, they wouldn't let him into WGP or Foundation. It was weird. It wasn't something that he did. It was just like a bunch of people that didn't want him. They're like, "Oh, I don't want him here." I'm like, "What are you talking about? He ain't do nothing to any of y'all." Then he shows up, competes, wins matches, wins titles, and I'm like, y'all, I told y'all that the BWO, us, we ain't nothing to play with. A lot of people know me as a competitor who just showed up to WGP and Foundation, but my origins, my roots, I came from the BWO. Because sometimes I flip that switch, like this ain't that regular vagabond. This is that BWO vagabond. It's like,
Right.
mm, mm, mm. And it's like the way the promo verse is now, it's like the best state's ever been in because everybody's out here doing their thing. And it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter who you see, you're always gonna be like entertained on screen. Like, even if it's Soul Star.
I mean, come on now. I mean, yeah, he kind of got a little fumbled there, but I mean, we're still talking about him. He did so. I mean, obviously, even though he did the most funniest thing in the world. I mean, come on now, but he still got us talking about him. I guess. I guess we still. I'm telling you right now, he's a meme of the year. He's got to be meme of the year. I gotta be a new. I'm gonna start protesting and I'm gonna start pushing meme of the year, and it's got to be Soul Star hands down, hands down. um, but and I do want to talk about that too, Vagabond. When you first got here,
Hmm.
you were using the demon a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Now he's been in your back pocket for. I don't think I've seen you use him for about almost 6, 7 months. Is there any reason why? You just think that he's gonna be like a spectacle, just like the demon Finn
Um,
Balor or something?
to be completely honest, whenever I did the demon, I would also do like a different voice, and that took a ton of energy out of me. And then when I would switch back to like regular me, I realized I would be like tired, but I would never let anybody see that I'm tired because I've conditioned myself to where I can keep going 100 miles a minute and then be done with it, and I just stopped the recording. I was like, and then I
Right,
put that shit together, and I'm just like, that takes a lot of fucking energy to do, bro. But like,
right,
I only bust out the demon every so often when I feel like it, because like you know, you know the demon is coming when Vagabond starts talking crazy. Because the moment he
right.
starts talking crazy, it's just like, and then the music changes, the background changes. It's like, what is going on here? Like, you in the nightmare now, Brody. Welcome.
Yep. Good luck trying to get out. um, but yeah, like I said, yeah, we haven't seen Demon Vagabond for a long time, and I was just wondering. I was like, I mean, you don't need them. I mean, you doing obviously. I think, honest to my honest opinion, ever since you let loose a little bit, you got. I think to me, I guess I'm gonna call it the BWO Vagabond because you've been just busting ass and you've just been taking names, man. I mean, no matter who they put in front of you, you just you bodied, you bagged them, you tagged them. They're done. Now at this part of the program, I like to give the floor to my guests. I know I did already, see what you wanted to say, but do you want to plug anything? Do you want to, say anything you want? Floor is yours, and let's go, bro.
Mm, nah.
You good? You good? All right. So, it's been a really interesting talk with you, and I'm glad you took the time out. And I know me and you've been trying to get together and get this done, but life had happened. But I'm glad to see you, and I'm sure it's not the last time you'll be on my show. But
Yeah.
it's been a blessing to have the vagabond on, and good luck with against the Black Plague. And I hope you have a long and healthy rest of your run, man. I mean, it's been fun to watch. You've been putting eyes
Yeah.
on the prize. I tell you that blueprint championship. Whoever goes next to it. I mean, you Gunther the crap out of that belt. Okay, it means a lot, and whoever's going to hold it has a lot of big shoes to fill, man. so, so this has been Awapo with the Vagabond, and I'd like to say thank you again, and we will see you soon.